I'm trying to wear a sidebar today and look as fabulous as Lydia Millen. You know, I'm the biggest fangirl, but I just look like my 17-year-old me. Oh, I guess the side part is not happening anytime soon. Okay, hi everyone, welcome back to the Geek is Chic. Today I want to jump right into the good stuff, talking about luxury fashion and how I am able to afford it. And hopefully give you some advice on how you can afford more nice stuff even though you're on a budget. So if you are new to my channel, hello, my name is Evelyn. Please make sure to subscribe and like and show me some love and support. I mean, it's Christmas time after all. And hit that notification bell. Thank you. So first things first, I want to clarify that I'm not a rich person. I do not come from a wealthy family and I do not have an excessive amount of designer items. And I just always knew that if I wanted to have luxury, I would buy it myself. Which actually also was a goal that I did set myself, you know? So for example, if I want to have these Saint Laurent boots, I will pay for them myself. If I want Celine stuff, I will pay for it myself. Pretty much as soon as I finished school, that was the case, and I started working and I made my own money and I would spend it for all the things that would be luxury for me. At that time when I was 18, that was just owning a shit ton of H&M clothing, and today that is buying myself one amazing bag in a year. And I do not shame anyone who does not live by that or who does live in any different way, but that is just my personal lifestyle. I literally worked my way up from being a fashion intern, wiping the floors after the office party, but that is a story for another video. So now that we have that out of the way and you have a little bit of context regarding me and my personal lifestyle, where I come from, let's get started. So one of the most common but also best ways to be able to afford luxury or more luxury are sales and discounts. By that I mean it really pays off to become quite good in waiting for the right moment and the best price. So you will need to invest a little bit of time in here. Whenever I see something that I really like, I almost never buy it right off the spot. Instead, I would put out my phone and I would start to research the hell out of this product. So I would take a look at all the different designer online shops that are out there, like Net-a-Porter, Mytheresa, Matches Fashion, Farfetch or Luisa Via Roma, and see if they have this particular piece that I'm interested in. I will also check the designer's own website because more and more designers these days actually have online stores of their own. Welcome to the 21st century. And at this point, I may already be able to spot some better price offers already. Because depending on the retailer, the prices may already vary between a couple of, 5% or something. But if I want more than that, I will put this item on my wish list and I would wait for some special offers and promotions. And by waiting, I benefit from a couple of things. First, I give myself time to reflect on that particular item and make sure that I really want it. Second, during the next weeks, the chances are pretty good that some of these online retailers will come up with some sort of special, offer or discount. For example, Luisa Via Roma does these only 1 hour, 20% off everything offers all the time. Or third, if that doesn't happen, it still gives me the chance to observe the availability of the product, which means I can see how quick or how slow it sells out. Meaning, if it sells out super quickly, I may just take the plunge and buy it for the regular price. But if it doesn't, I may consider waiting until the actual official sale starts, because then I know that I will get it for a much better price and I will save a minimum of 30 to 50%. Another thing that I would totally consider when I want to afford luxury but I am on a budget is secondhand. So if spending the original price on a designer item is just not an option, I would always try and research on the pre-loved market. I think nowadays almost every product is out there and can be purchased pre-loved. And it's not just good for your wallet, it's also good for your karma, because you're actually doing something for the environment, buying something secondhand. And even if I am able to buy something for the new price, I always check the pre-loved market for a bargain just to see if I, am able to get this particular item for an amazing price. My next tip would be avoid super seasonal pieces or pieces that do not hold up their value. So in general, I have a rule: the less luxury goods you can afford, the more timeless they should be. He's just having a blast over there today. If you are someone who really has to save up for a long time in order to be able to, buy something from a luxury designer, I would avoid the following two things. First, items that are super seasonal because they get out of style and they start to look dated very, very quickly. If you can only buy, one designer piece a season or even a year, you will most likely want to enjoy this item and feel super special whenever you wear it for quite some time, right? And that unfortunately often is not really the case when it comes to super seasonal items. And second, items that may not be seasonal, but they still do not hold up their value very well. So whenever I'm planning to buy, for example, a bag, I will do some research on the pre-loved market and see how much money I would get for this bag if it's like 2 years old. And I know that this is a very unromantic view on things and it may not be the right thing for someone who actually wants to start a huge collection, but I just personally made the experience that most items are not forever and I do get bored of my luxury items sooner or later, and I just want to make sure that by that time I am able to still get some good cash for this particular item, for example, to be able to fund something new. Which again brings me to the next point, and that is take good care of your luxury items. So this may not sound like it, but it actually also indirectly has something to do with being able to afford luxury. So as I already mentioned, I actually like to sell some of my designer items after I get bored of them. Also, I'm not someone who aims for creating a big designer collection. I'm someone who is a little bit more on the classic side, but I still like to, keep my wardrobe fresh and interesting for me. So selling things on the pre-loved market is just a great option for me to first, manage the amount of stuff that I have, and second of all, get some financial boosts for whenever I plan to buy something new. But of course, to get the most of your pre-loved sales, you have to take good care of your luxury items. So all my expensive shoes are well stuffed in their original boxes, where they are safe from the claws of my cats or any dust or whatsoever. Also, every leather shoe that I get that has a leather sole, I always get them resoled with a protective rubber sole. This way, the overall shoe just lasts much longer and it's also more resistant to rain. And the same basically goes for my ready-to-wear and for my bags. And I don't just actually enjoy, maintaining and grooming my personal designer stuff, but this way I also ensure that my items will look pretty good for a pretty long time. And if I at one point decide to sell a particular item, I will know that I will still get it for the best possible price. And my last advice would be prioritize your lifestyle. For example, I'm personally not able to buy something super expensive, eat out in fancy restaurants every other day, go on vacations all the time, or only buy the fancy, body lotion and candles and whatever it may be. That is financially just not possible for me right now. And therefore I make priorities. So if I really want to go and plan a vacation, then I know that when I'm booking it or right before I leave for my trip, I will not be able to, throw around my money for luxury designer stuff because I want to save it up for my vacation, right? And the same goes for my everyday activities. Of course, I do enjoy wining and dining with my friends, but I certainly not do that all the time. And I also rarely ever go out partying into clubs, spending a lot of money on drinks and taxis and entries. So what I'm trying to say with this is don't be mad if you can't afford luxury items. Better take a look at your spendings and at your overall lifestyle and just start to make priorities. And last but not least, I have a super easy and basic saving tip for you, and that is try using only cash in your day-to-day life. So at the beginning of the month, I would collect a certain amount of euro from my ATM, and with this amount, I would try to finance all my little daily spendings that appear throughout the whole month. And by that, I do not mean things like groceries, rent, fuel, my gym membership, or my mobile phone bills, because these are like fixed monthly bills and costs that occur every month. The cash I will only use for those variable costs that may occur during a month. For example, eating out, ordering in, buying myself some coffee or fancy food at the post office or at the dry cleaner or at the tailor. Only spending cash and leaving my bank account be Actually, I made the experience that I ended up spending less money, leaving me with a pretty nice amount of money on my bank account by the end of the month. And this money I would either push right into my savings account, or I could go ahead and indulge in something. So if you are someone who struggles with, long-term savings and managing money, I think this is something that is very, very easy, and I would totally encourage you to at least give it a try. It certainly did help me. So that is it for today's video. I really hope you found it useful and interesting. If you have any personal recommendations regarding this topic, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear more advice and tips from you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.